What's going on, guys? It's Noob 603 from Shustybang, and joining me today is Mr. YNOT-the-TIGER.
What's
Everyone's yeah, see? Now everyone else say hi. Very nice to you. Today we're going to talk about the latest patch notes that was released from DICE. Most important on that list that I think everyone's really looking forward to is the M26 dart is being fixed. No longer do we really have to worry about that glitch. I know that's been pretty high on everyone's list of priorities for what they would like to see fixed. So rest assured, they have addressed it. I think the most important thing I saw from this whole list, though, aside from that, is the fact that they themselves said, we've been paying attention to the community and listening to what you guys want and making adjustments as needed. And that's what this whole patch has been about, and kudos to them, because it just goes to show that they really do care about their product.
True that, dude. That's like no joke.
Yep. All right, Tony, I'll let you jump off with whatever. Sorry, backtrack a little bit. We're just gonna kind of go over not everything we saw in the patch that we thought was important, just some of the bigger things that we saw amongst this patch. Because overall, it's not that big. It's certainly much smaller than the previous huge patch we got a little over a month ago. So we went and picked and choose what we thought were some pretty important points from this decent-sized patch.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over just ones that I think that relate most to me, just because I like to think of myself more as a jet guy myself. Jet, helicopter, but mostly jet. So the one thing that I thought stood out to me was the fact that they're going to be increasing the turning radius on the F-35, so it's going to make it on par with the Su-35. So whenever you're playing as the U.S. in the Back to Karkland Strike package, you're not completely helpless against the Su-35s. So I like that a lot. Other things that are jet related, they're going to be increasing the effectiveness of the ECM jammer. So basically it's going to work now when it's going to be more, what do they put down? It says jet ECM jammer now deflects missiles more reliably when active. So that's kind of a big deal, because right now, as you know, it's kind of a hit and miss, even with flares too. You'll hear that or the missile indicator come in, and you might hit it. Or if you're going to, say if you're using ECM, you go and hit the ECM jammer to reduce the lock on you, and it might not work, and you still get hit by missiles. So that's actually kind of important. Another big thing is they've got no fire and forget missiles anymore. So if you're going to be using those lockable missiles for the jets and the helicopters, you got to stay on that thing until it hits the target. You can't fire it and just let it fly. So that's going to be kind of a game changer, because I know some people like to do that, just gonna let that thing fly. And then for me, I've never had that problem. You'd always wouldn't do anything. I think the last two things that I think are pretty important: the reduced helicopter rockets. They're going to reduce the damage the rockets do from helicopters back to pre-patch hit damage. So the damage value, I should say. So that I think Chris would probably talk better on, just because he's a big helicopter guy, but I didn't really notice. At least as long as they don't touch the jets, I'll be happy. And the last thing I think is actually pretty important is they said they're going to basically, quote, fix the anti-aircraft missiles not doing damage to jets and helos at very high speeds. So if you're like, say in your jet and you got afterburners on, apparently if you fire from an anti-aircraft platform, it's not going to hit or do any damage to a jet. So for me as a jet guy, I don't like that, but it would make it kind of fair, and it would give somebody a point to jump in that thing if there's jets just dominating the skies.
Right, I think that's really going to benefit those few situations where you get a really, really good spawn trap. In particular, I'm thinking like on No Shark Canals, when you've got them trapped out in the carrier, because you've got all three flags on Conquest. That would definitely be a really big bonus for them.
Speaking of, I did miss one. There's one here that I wrote down. It says they're going to increase the anti-aircraft gun so that it can actually reach hovering vehicles at the maximum height in selected maps. So that's kind of a big deal too, because that thing will reach out and touch everything now. So that could be not a game changer, but it could be something worth noting.
Yes, definitely. Was that all you had on your list?
That's it for the jets and helicopters.
Okay. Some of the things I had picked out just from kind of general gameplay fixes that I thought were pretty big. One of the things the community seemed kind of split on, I myself think they went a little bit overkill, was the suppression that they added with that last patch. I kind of feel like they went overkill. Like, when you get suppressed by anyone with LMG or even just like one good sniper shot, you are fully and truly suppressed. I mean, you can't hit shit when you're suppressed from that. So what they did was they've reduced that suppression. Now, it's still more suppression than it was before the last patch. So, you know, again, it's going to have a slightly higher increase than previously, but they're dimming it, you know, they're dumbing it down a little bit, so they're going to, again, trying to find that perfect balance among everything. So that's pretty big. There's a huge list, well, not really huge, but there's a pretty significant sized list of all these weapon changes they also did. Just, again, making little changes and tweaks with recoil bonuses or recoil negative effects, whatever. I don't even know how to say it all. But, you know, certain attachments, you either get better recoil or worse recoil and so on and so forth. They just did some slight tweaking to a handful of weapons. Again, I think they're really just trying to go for that perfection, which is definitely good. One of the other things they did is adding a symbol to signify when a private server has anything other than the normal rules. I think it's actually an option. It's not something that they've got coded in that if you change the normal rules, the symbol will pop up. But, you know, it's one of those that, for the most part, you get people that actually care about who's trying to get into their servers. They'll add it. I'm sure there's some people that are like, well, if I put that in, then no one's going to want to play my server. But, you know, give them credit for at least kind of trying to help it out, make it a little easier for you to understand what's a normal server, who's got some crazy rules, and so on and so forth. Next one I wanted to talk about, this one's actually really big because up until a couple weeks ago, I really hadn't been giving it much thought, but everyone's been asking me about it, like, oh, how does it affect you and your game style? And now it's like in my head, like that's all I can see, that's all I can think about. But supposedly in this patch, because they were supposed to have it fixed in the last patch, they're reducing the input lag for controllers and joysticks. I think that is huge. If they can even have the amount of input lag that we have right now, that would be awesome. That would go a long, long way to making this game feel a lot better. Next was, this is actually a really big one because I love playing Rush, so I'm excited to see this. They fixed it so that the arming of an MCOM is not canceled when you look at a weapon. I can't tell you how many times I've been going to arm something, and as I'll squat down or I'll crouch down, and then I'll kind of turn to try and get an idea as where the enemies might be coming from, and I'll accidentally go over someone's weapon that just died right there, and I gotta start all over. And I die when I'm starting over. Had I not been canceled on me, I would have gotten that arm. So, you know, it's not like huge, but it is a pretty big deal, and I'm really excited to see they fix that. Last but not least, one of the things I saw that I thought was a pretty big deal, it doesn't really help with gameplay really, but just makes the game feel more finished. They're putting in a fix to correct the potential random audio crashes. So, you know, randomly in the middle of the game, all of a sudden you get no game audio, or like 90% of it drops out, and you've got like maybe random bullets that you can hear from some random person on the other side of the map. Well, hopefully they've fixed that. That's what they're saying is going to be fixed in this patch. That'd be nice, because it's kind of eerie when you're like in the middle of this huge firefight, and all of a sudden you hear nothing. So yeah, that's all I got. So I mean, Tony, what do you think about everything we've read in the patch? Like, what's your overall feeling for this patch?
I think you pretty much summed it up when you said that they listened to the community, especially when with like the M26 Dart. You know, that's a big. Well, actually, even before that, USAS 12. You know, them going through and actually caring about their product. You know, I'm not saying that other developers don't do that, but it's definitely changed from, say, Bad Company 2, which, from what I remember and what I understand, went largely unpatched, because there was a lot of just things in there that, you know, but maybe it's because they're developing Battlefield 3, so they weren't really going to worry about it. But it's nice to see, I'll be honest. There's some things I hope they'll tweak, like when you kill someone in an aircraft, sometimes their emblem stays in the sky, so you think suddenly you've got someone else on you. So there's little things that I hope go away, but I just kind of hope it gets back to that pre-patch feel, or maybe sort of like a happy medium between the two, because I do like elements of this new patch, but a lot of the elements of the old patch I still love. So the original version. So maybe we can marry those two together. I think that'd be perfect.
I agree. I really wish what they would do is the last patch. This patch would have everything that the last patch did for weapon balances, because they were on the right track. I think they had really good ideas, but I think they went a little overkill for the most part. And I can understand where the community is coming from with one point that I did read from a lot of people. They'd like to see more patches more often, and just on a smaller scale. Just, you know, specifically for the M26, like you could have thrown in a much smaller patch with getting the M26 Dart fixed, and then maybe like 2 or 3 other things. But I understand where DICE is coming from. If they're going to give you a patch, they want to give you a patch. Like, look at this. Not only do we fix this, we fixed a whole ton of things. All these little things you guys were talking about, we tried to throw it all into this one patch for you guys.
Yeah, I really do like the barometer effect. It's like here's the extreme, and they're not afraid to back away. They're like, okay, that didn't work. Like with the FAMAS foregrip, I don't know if we covered that, can't remember, but they're gonna make it a little bit more effective. So they took it to the extreme, and then people didn't like that, so they're gonna back it off a bit. So I like the ability that there's like, okay, we didn't get it right with the patch, let's do it again, and we'll see if they keep tweaking weapons like this for the rest of the life cycle of the game, or at least maybe for the next year or two.
Yeah, I would like to see that. And guys, this is actually, let this be a lesson too. They do listen to the community. So if you do have an issue and it's something you'd like to see resolved, they're actually really, really good about listening to what people have to say, even on Twitter, and they do respond. So handle it professionally and maturely. If you have an issue you'd like to see resolved, bring it to their attention, but again, be as professional and mature as possible. They do listen. They will listen to this feedback, and they will take it into account if changes need to be made in the future.
I think on that note, the only thing I'll add in is if you're going to say there's a problem, it's always best to say, here's the problem, here's what I think is a solution. Just don't say, like, this doesn't work.
Yes, exactly.
Get very detailed, like, this doesn't work in this situation. And I think, or if you're talking in terms of guns, you'd be like, this gun needs more ammo. I'm finding out in this situation that I run out of ammo, say FAMAS, say, like, I think it should go back to being 30 rounds, to be honest. I mean, as long as they increase maybe the reload time or something. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, be specific, be detailed. Don't just say, this is broken, this is a problem, because they need your feedback.
Right. What Tony's talking about is something I'm always parroting in the comments on our videos. Constructive criticism. You don't have to like something, and it's stupid of anyone to expect 100%, universal liking of anything. However, if you don't like something, just don't say, I don't like it, as Tony said. Give them specific reasons. Be descriptive. That's what helps them make these decisions to give us a patch, to try and give us the most balanced game possible based upon our feedback. Simply just saying, I don't like this or I do like this, well, yeah, everyone wants to hear, oh my god, I love this, but what is it about it? Give us the aspects, be as detailed as you can. That is what helps anyone with anything in life make their product better. Description, or descriptive details.
Exactly. And hopefully, Snoop, you're going to put the link to the Battlefield 3 forums.
Yeah, I'll put it up for the Battlefield forum, where all these details will be up there. I'll throw in some other links too, like some Battlefield, like the DLC pricing stuff. There's a bunch of links. If you guys haven't been to the Battlefield forums, you should definitely go check it out. There's a lot of good information.
And I don't know, I'm like not trying to plug it for them, but they do have a Facebook page, and they are very quick to respond. I made a couple comments on there about having a 12-on-12 jet game type, and the guy said, hey, that's a really good idea, put it in the Battlefield forums and under suggestions.
Yeah, they've got a really good community that runs that website. Oh, alright, that's gonna actually wrap it up for this. That's pretty much everything we want to hit on the patch notes. Again, the link is in the description. Go read it all and see what else we did not get to cover. We appreciate you guys watching this. Leave some comments. Let us know what you think of this patch, what you do like, what you don't like. Again, be descriptive. Leave a like if you liked the video. If you didn't like it, whatever, fine. Go ahead, dislike it. Doesn't matter to me. Alright, guys, this is Snoop603, and with me, Tony the Tiger. We'll catch you guys later.
Alright, take it easy, guys.
If you're looking for a little bit more Shustybang in your internet, be sure to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/snoop603 and twitter.com/fakethriller. In addition, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Shustybang. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitch TV so you can catch up with all our live streams in the future. twitch.tv/fakethriller.